is up. Today on the Ariel Show, I'm going to be giving you a tour of my sewing studio. Let's go check it out. Alright, so when we first walk in, to the left right away is this wall of dress forms, and I love this thing. I love having these all out because it's really helpful to me to be able to throw a design up on a dress form and get some fresh perspective. That way when I come in the next morning, I can get gauge my first impression of it. That helps me out a lot when I'm designing. So you can see here, this is a dress that I actually was working on exactly about a year ago. I remember I posted pics of this on Instagram because I was planning on wearing it on work tour last year, but sadly it never made an appearance. So I've got it back up, just probably going to do a whole redesign, overhaul, and we'll see if we can rock it this year. This is one of my famous zipper corsets that I love, and this is a really cute petticoat that I actually wore for a photo shoot in LA a few years back, but the sunlight sucked, so we didn't actually get to ever release the shots, but I do love this little petticoat. This is a skirt that I'm working on for one of my clients, Amaris. You might recognize this as yours. You can check out, it's got the short little front and the cute longer back, and this is actually designed based on one of the skirts that I used to wear live for a lot back in about 2012, 2013. Here we got just some scarves thrown up. I've got a male dress form, and that helps me out a lot. Alright, here on the back wall, I've just got some shelving put together, and this is where I've got just stacks and stacks of scooties, infinity scarves, wrist cuffs, and sometimes when I'm in the mood, I just like to power make these, where I will just whip these things out round the clock. That helps me out a lot when we're on tour. That way a friend of mine can just come in, pull these ready-made off the shelf, and ship them out. That way I don't have to shut everything down when we're on the road. Okay, now we come over here to the pretty shelving, and I'm much more excited about this. I realized a couple years back that I wanted to have a sewing space that wasn't only functional. That's cool, but I also wanted it to be beautiful because it's so important to me to be able to come in here and feel really good about the space that I'm working in. So you can see here I've just got some pretty shelving, cute little ways of displaying things, little knickknacks. I put together some, cute little shadow boxes, and then I've got my thread up on a rack, rather than just thrown in some back cardboard box. That helps me out a lot to have everything right where I can find it easily, and I put out all my pretty stuff right here. So now we come to the corner here. This is my little desk area. This is probably as professional business exec as I get in here all day long. But I like to come here and I reply to my Etsy messages on my computer. Sometimes I like to sit down when I'm pinning things together for a long time. Here's also where I like to write all my little custom notes. So I've got these custom catastrophes cards, and then on the back I just like to write a little message. So you see this one is for Sarah. I really like handwriting them when I can on a personal basis, but sometimes I write them more just generically, like I'll do them in advance for when we're on tour, because I think it's really important that when you open the package you know that I made it, you feel my love, and it's a little bit more special that way. So that's a really cool part of the business, I think. So here we are at my little circle clothing rack, and you guys, this is like my rack of remembrance, basically. This is where I keep all my old clothes that I've worn in important shoots, live, all sorts of things. So for example, this is one of my favorites. This is the little t-shirt corset that I made and wore for the Make a Move music video. So I'm just gonna keep this forever because it's so close to my heart. I've got all these shirts that I've worn live. Basically, you know the drill. I cut up a t-shirt and I turn it into something cute and form-fitting and something that I don't feel like anyone else can replicate because I made it. It's really helpful for me when I'm making things, a little tip, to put it on and turn it inside out and do it right in front of a mirror. And you guys, I have stab wounds all over my body because I will pin it on me right there, and that really helps me to make sure it fits me perfectly. This isn't helpful in sewing for other people, but it does make sure that it's something that I'm feeling good wearing. And I love going through here, seeing how far I've come, seeing how far I've evolved as a fashion designer, but also just remembering why I started this whole thing. And that was because I wanted to feel like I was able to express myself. I wanted to stand out. I wanted to look different from the crowd, and I knew I couldn't do that by hopping over to the mall and buying something to look punk rock. So this was my solution, to just make it myself, and that's still my battle cry. I want to inspire you guys to make it yourself. So here we come to the middle of the room. This is my giant sewing table, and you guys, I love this thing. I've got 2 sewing machines, 2 sergers, and a cover stitch machine on here, and I feel like the luckiest woman in the world to be able to even say that, because I used to just have one machine, shoved in a little corner on a desk, and so to have everything set up and ready for me is a dream come true. And you guys, I wanted to show you this really quick. This is a card that my mormor got me for my birthday last year, and in here she says, "Din mormors mormor hade en amerikansk, den heter singer." And for all of you who don't speak Swedish, that means your mormor's mormor. So it'd be my great-great-grandma had a American sewing machine, and the brand was Singer. And I thought that was so freaking cool because Singer has been one of my awesome partners in this with me. They've been helping me on my sewing journey. They've hooked me up with machines. They've hooked us up with machines to give to you guys. They've sent me this really cute pink sewing stuff, and I just feel like they get it. There are some sewing machines that are kind of helping grandmas make quilts, and that's cool. I love you, grandma. But this is like a whole new level when they're actually kind of connecting with me on this personal level and helping me inspire you guys, helping me do what I was born to do. And I just, thank you, Singer. You guys are really cool, so appreciate that. So the last thing I want to show you guys is this sick cutting table. This thing has changed my life. I started Custom Catastrophes in a 1-bedroom. I was living in just this bedroom. My bed took up almost all the room. There was no other space, and I just had to make it work. So I had my sewing machine shoved in the corner on a desk, and I would cut everything for orders on the bed or on the floor. And I remember dreaming and hoping for the day when I would have a real live cutting table. And you guys, here it is. But what's so cool about this is I didn't go out and buy it. I didn't spend any money on it, actually. I found it through a hotel that was like shutting down and had all these old tables. And this is the table that the housekeeping would fold laundry on. So it's like the perfect height. We just refinished the top. Same thing with this sewing machine table over here. And I love that we just reclaimed something. I've got a little rack for my fabric underneath, and that's really cool. And I love, obviously, not having to cut on the floor anymore, but I just really love the fact that I did this thing one step at a time. I did the whole some is better than none mindset, so I didn't wait until I was ready. I didn't wait until I had it all figured out, you guys. I didn't really understand how Etsy works like in 2010. I think I didn't start my shop till maybe 2012 officially on there, and before that I was just doing it like through Facebook messaging because that's the only way I knew how. And I want to encourage you guys today that whether you want to do sewing or some other business, if you want to be an entrepreneur, if you like the idea of showing up to work for yourself every day instead of working for the man, just start small. Just do the tiniest little things that you can think of. You're not going to have a giant business plan to begin with. You're just going to have to put one foot in front of the other and figure it out and trust that you have a support system around you that wants you to succeed, that wants you to do well. And I certainly have that with you guys, and I'm so grateful for that. To all of you who have ever gotten anything through CustomCatastrophes.com. It means so much to me. Check out my stuff if you haven't, because I'm constantly updating it. And it just makes me feel really good that I can just be myself for a living through singing, through making the Ariel show, through sewing. It's just such a wonderful existence, and you guys make that possible. Thank you to all of you. Thank you to all my patrons on Patreon.com for helping support today's episode. Before we go, I want to give something away. So I was thinking this might work. This is one of my zipper wrist cuffs that I freaking love, and I want to give it away to one of you who signs up to my email list. So right here is the link for that, and every week I send out a new email with the Ariel show. It's something I've started doing, just kind of talking about the show and any news that we've got and kind of putting it in a readable format if that's more, digestible for you. So check that out. I love you guys forever, and I will see you next week. Bye.